Jesus, the bronze serpent that brings healing. Imagine suffering from a deadly bite, your body weakening with no hope of survival. Suddenly you hear of a strange remedy, a bronze serpent lifted high on a pole. All you have to do is look at it to live. It seems impossible, but it's true. Centuries later, Jesus Christ compared himself to this very symbol. If Jesus wasn't God, how could he fulfill such a powerful and prophetic image? The bronze serpent in the wilderness. The Israelites were journeying through the wilderness after being freed from slavery in Egypt. Despite God's provision of manna and water, they began to grumble against him and Moses, saying, "Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? There is no bread, there is no water, and we detest this miserable food." Numbers 21:5. Their ungratefulness and rebellion provoked God's judgment. Fiery serpents were sent among the people, biting them. Many Israelites died, and those who survived were in great anguish. In their despair they cried out to Moses, "We have sinned when we spoke against the Lord and against you. Pray to the Lord to take the serpents away from us." Moses prayed, and God provided an unusual solution. He instructed Moses to make a bronze serpent and set it on a pole. God promised that anyone who was bitten and looked at the bronze serpent would live. Numbers 21:9. Though it seemed foolish, the Israelites obeyed. Those who looked at the bronze serpent in faith were healed instantly. This event became a powerful symbol of both judgment and salvation, a picture of sin's deadly consequences and God's mercy. Jesus and the bronze serpent. Fast forward to the New Testament, where Jesus himself referenced this story while speaking to Nicodemus, a Pharisee who sought him out at night. Jesus said, "Just as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that everyone who believes may have eternal life in him." John chapter 3, 14, 15. In this moment, Jesus revealed that the bronze serpent was a foreshadowing of his own mission. The serpent symbolized the sin and death that had bitten humanity. By being lifted on the cross, Jesus would take on the very curse of sin, becoming the remedy for all who look to him in faith. But here's the question. If Jesus wasn't God, how could he claim to take on the curse of sin for the entire world? How could a mere man provide eternal life to those who believe? The significance of the cross. When Jesus was crucified, he was lifted up like the bronze serpent. His sacrifice was not just for the sins of a few people, but for all of humanity. The Apostle Paul explains in Galatians 3:13, "Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse for us." The cross became the ultimate symbol of judgment and mercy. Just as the Israelites were healed by looking at the bronze serpent, we are healed spiritually by looking to Jesus in faith. His death broke the power of sin and death, and his resurrection offers eternal life to all who believe. Challenge to skeptics. Consider this. How could Jesus, a carpenter from Nazareth, align himself so perfectly with a symbol established over 1,000 years earlier? How could he fulfill not only the story of the bronze serpent, but also the promise of eternal life? If Jesus wasn't God, how could he claim to be the answer to humanity's deepest need, the cure for sin? Could any human being offer what he offers, forgiveness, healing, and life everlasting? These questions demand an answer. Jesus' comparison to the bronze serpent is not just a clever metaphor, it's proof of his divine identity and purpose. Takeaway. The story of the bronze serpent points us to a timeless truth. We are all bitten by the serpent of sin, destined for death without God's intervention. But Jesus, lifted high on the cross, provides the remedy. All we have to do is look to him in faith. What will you do with this truth? Will you turn to Jesus, the only source of healing and life? Call to action. If this story inspired you, share it with someone who needs to hear about the hope found in Jesus Christ. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Bible stories that reveal God's redemptive plan. Let Jesus' words resonate in your heart. Just as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so must the Son of Man be lifted up.